The lone prepper mentality is a dangerous myth. And here I'm going to give you 7 tips on why you should never be a lone prepper. My name is Wayne.
And I'm Belinda.
And we're Normal Prepping. The first one is strength in numbers. And when you think about this, you can't do everything by yourself. And often it is not very safe to do things by yourself. Say, for instance, you're going to go get supplies. And what we're talking about here is a complete meltdown, basically. It's not just your regular, normal blackout for a few days or a little flood or something. What we're talking about with a lone wolf, and the lone wolf prepper is a prepper who takes on all the responsibility of their preps with them and maybe a spouse, but they don't ask for any help from the community. And that's why we think this is not a good idea.
Well, it is a good idea for short emergencies, like if the power's out for a few hours, or if a day or two and you're stuck in your home for some reason or another. Lone wolf mentality is fine. Yeah, but we're talking more bigger.
Yeah, long term.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at, Hurricane Helene. Mm-hmm. They're still dealing with that. And it's been 4 months as we did this video. Mm-hmm. Things that take a long time. And let's get back to the first one was strength in numbers. So, you need help and you need to have a group. Say you're going to get water. You have to go somewhere to get water. It's good to have somebody with you for safety, because you may fall, trip, or hurt yourself in some way. Or there could be bad players out there that you got to watch out for. It's always good. And also, say we had to go just by ourselves. If both of us went to carry the water, because I can't carry a whole lot of water,
Or I couldn't carry a big old jug of water.
Yeah, you try to carry, we get those big 5-gallon jugs. I carry those from the car and I'm hating life, So, if you had to do this from a distance, you need help. And also, you don't want to leave the house unsupervised. The next thing we'll go into, we don't need to go any deeper on that one. The next thing is skill and knowledge. For instance, I don't know everything. I don't think Belinda knows everything. Mm-hmm. And it's so nice if you can find somebody to help you, in any way, have skills that you don't have. For instance, they could be really, they could be EMTs or trained in high-end, first aid, or they could be a doctor, things like that, or a cook. And when we talk about getting help and getting people, don't just go up and talk to somebody like, hey, I'm a prepper, want to prep with me? No, you don't do that. Mm-mm. No.
You just basically, get to know your neighbors, see what they're into, get to know your friends, and, and in time you'll find out. You'll talk and figure it out, and, say, hey, what do you do? And, what are your hobbies? And eventually they'll come out where, yeah, I prep. I like to save things and do things. And they might talk to you about it, or they might think you're crazy. But, you get both sides of the story. And you just figure it out. And eventually you'll know, because like us, we know all our neighbors. We know what they do and if they prep or not. And I have a neighbor that's next to me, and we prep together and we do things together. So we know if it gets rough, we have a plan and we can help each other survive. They'll be in their home, we'll be in our home. We're neighbors. We can run back and forth. We have a bridge. We even built a bridge where we can cross across a little creek that we have it makes it easier for us to go back and forth if we need to, for, to trade resources or to figure out what's going on around our area, or if we need to go together and do something, or go across the road to talk to another neighbor. We kind of worked that out to get things figured out.
Yeah, we already have our own little community set up. Mm-hmm. And one thing we've seen, and we did a review of that movie Homestead. Mm-hmm. You may want to see that, and you can watch the review. We'll put it up here so you can see the link that we have that. But, that kind of teaches those same ideas that we're talking about here, where you just can't, be alone. And it's actually surprisingly easy to find somebody, even though that you may live in an area where you don't have a neighbor, but maybe you have somebody else, And one thing I do a lot of times, just kind of jokingly, is I'll bring up 2020 and toilet paper. And right there, you almost get it helps get the conversation started. It really does. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is security. You need to have a group of people for security, because one thing is, when things go bad, people go bad. There's always bad people, and you got to make sure you guard your area, you guard your perimeter, whatever, and you have to sleep. And you might be able to do this for a few days, but after a while, I mean, it'll wear on you. Just the two of us, we couldn't take turns doing all the chores, doing everything we need to do, and then trying to stay awake 24 hours a day, in case some bad players start showing up.
We take turns at night.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about the bad players, one thing, you see it happen right away. I mean, just look at even the fires, any hurricanes, any kind, there's always bad players.
Yeah. And
when it gets really bad, you got to watch out for another thing that you hardly ever hear mentioned, and that's all the people addicted to drugs. Because as soon as they're also, unless they're druggie preppers, they're going to be jonesing for drugs. So they're going to be looking for homes that look vulnerable, where they think, maybe, those people look a little older. They look like they could be feeble. They could have something. Maybe they have some narcotics. Maybe they have some painkillers. So you got to watch out for that. And that's not often mentioned, but it is. I think it is. Even the good people that need their kids, their babies. Oh, my child needs medicine. And then you have to deal with that. But
you also want to know where your property lines are, and you also want to secure that, and you also want to have a way to secure your front area of your home, and you need to figure all that out. I mean, you might live in a housing tract, and so you got to figure that out. You need to be secure.
Yeah.
And, just got to be ready.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, you do. Very good.
Or if you're not able to secure the home you're in, have an alternate place where you need to go where you can secure yourself.
Number 4 is resources. Even as we consider ourselves good preppers, we may not have everything we need. So it would be good to have a group of people that we can commingle and, mix our goods together. Say, I'm short of water, they may have water. They're short of some canned food. We can trade that and we can move it around. Or we can all get together and put our food and put everything in one pot, basically, and work together. Instead of each of us sitting over there and, oh man, I stored too much Spam, so that's all I'm eating. You know what I mean? And also other things too, cots or, first aid or, sleeping bags or lights or vehicles. And that's another thing to think about is maybe they have something like a tractor, or they have a backhoe, or something that could be really, really useful in this time. Or they know how to use a chainsaw. They have a chainsaw, or they have a quad, or they have a bicycle or a motorcycle.
Yeah.
If you guys are all together, you can use this, and it'll make it so much nicer, because, it'll put us in the poorhouse. Sorry, I hit that my mic. It'll put us in the poorhouse if we try to buy all this stuff on our own. So as a group, you can pull it all together, and
use each other's resources
to
take care of the group.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I totally recommend. Okay, the 5th thing is mental health. After a while, this will drive you nuts. It really will. It'll tax you. And if you feel like all the weight is on your shoulders, like you're trying to get this all together, just us two, we're trying to do everything, the stress will start to get to us. It will.
Yeah, it will to anybody.
Yeah, it will to anybody.
Anytime anything happens and you get stressed.
Yeah,
it's just
you get
a normal
stressed.
thing.
So it's nicer to have people to talk it out, even laugh
and work
with,
through things.
And work through things. Come up with new ideas, because that's one thing that happens to me is I'll think, okay, this is going to happen. I come up with an idea, but then I'm like, Is it the right idea? You know, I like to bounce it off of somebody, and that's a great time to bounce it off somebody. When you got a lot of people, you can talk and work things out. Okay, the sixth item is the history shows that loan prepping has always been a bad strategy. Just think about it. You know, I go to the wagon train. So if you have a wagon train and you have, somebody says, oh, I don't like the way you guys are all going. You know, they're all in a little group. I think this way will be shorter. So they go off.
And you never see them again.
You never see them again. That didn't work. Or, and a lot of these are from that era, or they build a house by themselves in the middle of the prairie. Well, that doesn't go too well, It's been like that even since the caveman days. People, pretty much always are in groups.
In groups.
You find them, these civilizations in groups. You don't just find, your lone, guy over here, he did okay, And some can, and there are people that actually are hardcore, lone wolf people, and they may make it. But in generally, why? I mean, far history showed it doesn't work.
Yeah, and people like to interact with other people.
Yeah, we do.
So.
Yeah, you don't like to be by yourselves.
Yeah, it'll drive you crazy. Going back to the mental health. Yep. You'll go crazy.
Yeah, you'll go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the seventh is injury and sickness.
Yeah.
And that can really just break you down. So say if it's just Belinda and I fall, break my leg. Well, then who's going to go get the water? Who's going to do my chores? And the way I look at it is if a person gets hurt, it's not like having just one person. It's like negative. It's not just Belinda as one. It's a negative one because she has to take care of me. So that takes resources, which she could be doing. She's worse off having me because I'm hurt than she would be by herself. And so it'd be great to have other people, especially if you back in the skill and knowledge area, if you had somebody that knew, medicine and, how to
first
aid, advanced first aid, which you should all, know first aid pretty well, but somebody more advanced could help take care. So I think that's all 7.
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're new to our channel, thank you for watching and stopping by. If you want to leave a comment, if you have any suggestions, just let us know.
Yep. We love comments. We love comments. And this one should bring up some good ones. So please leave some comments, whether you think this is a good idea, bad what we're saying, or in between. Just let us know. I'm really looking forward to your comments. And thank you for watching.